What's up, everybody? It's JT Magnum, and I'm here with some Niner news for you. Now, it's Sunday night, and I'm still a little bit pissed off because the Niners are playing just like this hat, raggedy and nasty. And this is one of my favorite old hats of the 49ers. It's a very vintage hat. Obviously, it's old. It looks old, and I wear it all the time in the house and stuff like that because I just like it still. But the Niners play right now is very disappointing for many reasons, and they're not getting any help. They're not getting any. They're not helping themselves. They're not. The coaches aren't helping them. The players aren't helping themselves, and on top of that, injuries aren't helping them, and the refs aren't helping them. All these factors are contributing to the fact that we're 1-2, and they could be easily be 0-3. They could actually easily be 3-0. I mean, I know that it looks by the scores of the game, it looks like, they've gotten blown out. But the game in Seattle was actually closer than people think. It was 12-3. The Niners had their opportunities to score, just blew it. And on top of that, it's just ever since the Super Bowl, I've been noticing a trend with refs in San Francisco. They just seem to call the 49ers for a lot more stuff than they're calling the other teams for. Some of it is warranted. Obviously, there are penalties that the Niners are guilty of. But, I mean, just at the beginning of the game today, Indianapolis, I mean, they flagged Dante Whitner for a hit that wasn't even a helmet-to-helmet. It's just, the announcers even said it, that Patrick Willis had one later that he hit him with a shoulder. And they were like, wow, I can't believe they didn't flag him for helmet-to-helmet when it wasn't helmet-to-helmet. It's like, I hate to be complaining about refs, and it just drives me absolutely up the freaking wall to complain about refs. But referees in the NFL are just garbage. I mean, they're not I'm not just complaining about games against San Fran, but I watch other games in the NFL. I have the NFL package. I watch all the games. I literally will put all the games on the screen. I'm just watching them all because I play fantasy football, so I'm always, keeping track of players and stuff like that. But I notice so many bad calls all the time. I notice holds. I notice all kinds of. I know holding goes on all the time, but Aldon Smith was being held at least 5, 6, 7 times during that game. You can rewind the game and watch it. You can tell me I'm smoking weed. You can tell me I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I don't care what you say to me, but I watch the games. I watch them. I watch them how they are played. I watch the defensive line play. I watch how the offensive line holds. Aldon Smith was being held, I kid you not, 6 or 7 times. They would not call Indianapolis for it. It's just unbelievable. Then at one point, they had a helmet-to-helmet hit on a Niner, and they didn't even call it. But then they called Dante Whitner for one that wasn't even a helmet-to-helmet hit. So that's enough on refs. I'm done talking about refs. That's that part of the show. That's that part of the segment that I'm going to talk about. I'm done with it because you judge for yourself. You rewind the 49er games, the last few of them, and you tell me that the refs aren't against the 49ers, because a lot of those holding calls on the 49ers, as in defensive holding, weren't defensive holding. One pass interference call was warranted. Terrell Brown got caught for pass interference, and it was a pass interference. Like, he literally was raping the guy. But the other two that he got called for, they weren't holding. Carlos Rodgers got called for holding, wasn't holding. These were key third down situations. They had the Colts stopped. It was 13-7. They had the Colts stopped. They got flagged twice for it, and that ended up changing the course of the game. Next thing you know, the Colts went down and scored a touchdown. Next thing you know, they got the turnover and they scored again, and they made the game out of hand. But those key things is what makes a game and changes the game around, and why refs shouldn't dictate a game. It just pisses me off when a ref dictates a game. I'm sorry, but you can say I'm a complainer, you can say I'm a 40 whiner, you can say all the kind of stuff you want to say, but I get mad at these kind of things for other games too, not just 49er games. It just so happens that I'm doing Niner news, so I'm talking about my Niners, but I watch other games, and I get just as mad when it happens to other teams. I don't like watching teams get cheated. I don't like it whatsoever. It makes me angry, it pisses me off, and it makes me want to punch a referee in the face. Maybe I got anger issues. I don't know. But that being said, the Niners played like garbage. They scored 7 points. They should have scored more. Colin Kaepernick couldn't find a wide open wide receiver if you let him today. He's just been disappointing to me. Like, there's open receivers downfield. He's just not seeing them, or he doesn't feel like he has time, and maybe like he's starting to move around the pocket too much, maybe like he's getting jittery or something. Like, I don't know what's going on with him, but they're just not putting him in the position to like make a play or make a correct play. And I can't figure out what it is they're trying to work with him. And that read option plays, I don't mind read option plays. I get it. It was very cool to do last year and people weren't understanding it, but it's not working this year. And the way you're running, the way you're running it this year is not working. So stop. Run the ball with Frank Gore and Kendall Hunter like you have been in the past. Stick back to what we were doing, which is ball control, run the ball, run out of play action, use Colin Kaepernick's arm out of play action. He's better than Alex Smith. I don't give a crap what anybody says. He's still better than Alex Smith. Just run that offense. You don't need to run it out of read option. Read option is killing them this year, and I've seen more negative plays come out of the read option than anything I've ever seen before out of the 49ers. And they've got to change. They've got to change it up. They've got to do something different. And it's getting to the point where, as a fan, I'm getting very disappointed and very annoyed just watching it. And it was very disappointing to watch. Yes, the refs messed up and did some things to hold the Niners back, but at the same time, the Niners weren't doing themselves any good either by holding themselves back. So regardless if the refs made the calls or not, who knows if the 49ers could even drive down the field with the way they were playing. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying the refs completely cost us the game because the Niners played horrible, but they're not helping either. And with the fact that the Niners aren't playing well offensively, it's just killing me. And then on top of that, it just seems like every defender is going down for the Niners. Aldon Smith is now out indefinitely because he can't stop drinking alcohol. Like, the guy can't stop clubbing and partying. I don't know what's wrong with these NFL players that they think that they're, because they're so big and they've got a bunch of sacks last year and they went to the Super Bowl, they can sit there and party and live it up and order. Just do your freaking job. You're gonna get paid millions of dollars to sack the quarterback. Go home, go to bed, lift weights, do what you gotta do, stay home, play football. That's what you're paid to do. Paid to do. You don't have to go out to these clubs and stay up till 7 o'clock in the morning drinking and crashing your car into a tree. You can hurt yourself. You can hurt somebody. What is wrong with these dudes? And it's so disappointing because it's my team. I like my team, and I don't like to see them doing stupid stuff. Like, it's just dumb. So it's just sad. It's just sad when you're watching your team just go straight. From a complete high last year, almost winning a Super Bowl, to just straight down and just horrible, And I know they're not going to be horrible. They might still make the playoffs. The 49ers are not a bad team, but they need to get their butts together because their schedule, the earliest part of the schedule, is not easy, and they could easily go 1-4. I mean, you got Houston and you got St. Louis coming up this week on an early week in St. Louis, and they're coming off a loss to Dallas now where they got blown out and they couldn't even move the ball, so they're going to be pissed off. And you got Houston the very next week. So, I mean, come on, San Francisco. You got to get your butts together. You got to figure out what you're doing offensively and figure out how to use your players that you got right. Because if you can't figure that out, you're not going to win any games. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the defense right now, and doesn't, just stop doing stupid stuff. Stick to your fundamentals of the way your team were. Stop getting cute with the offense. Stop getting cute on defense because they're giving up a lot of yards rushing. That's 2 weeks in a row with like 170 yards rushing. That's not 49er football. I know that Ian Williams got hurt. And I know that Dorsey's in there now, but they weren't running the ball in the first half. They started running the ball like crazy in the second half. It just seems like Marshawn Lynch and Ahmad Bradshaw are like the two 49er killers. Like, they absolutely dominate the 49ers every time they play them. It seems like Ahmad Bradshaw and Marshawn Lynch are the only two players that can just run the ball in the Niners. But with that being said, maybe this week they'll get it together in a short week. I doubt they will have Patrick Willis. We now know they're not going to have Aldon Smith. So they need to band together as a defense, figure it out, and try to stop whoever they're going to do, because who knows even how long Aldon Smith is out for. And that's a key defender. I'm sorry, but that's a guy that gets to the quarterback. Yeah, you can plug in Lamania. Yeah, he's going to maybe get to the quarterback, but he's still a rookie. He doesn't know how to do in pass coverage. He doesn't know what to do with certain run situations, and it's going to be a lot different 49er defense that you're used to seeing on this Thursday night. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But the Niners just are not playing well, and they need to run a different offense. They have to stop just getting too cute with this read option stuff. Like, it's just, it's come on now. I'm not saying get away from it. I'm just saying, like, run the offense. Run the ball. Give the ball to Frank Gore and Kendall Hunter. Give him the ball. It'll help you. It'll help Kaepernick. I don't know why they keep getting so cute where they're trying to just pass the ball all the time. It just, stop. Run the ball. That's what you had. You have maulers in the front. Run the ball. So, anyways, that's it. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Niners. Tell me they suck. I don't care, because they do right now. They're just absolutely horrible. And tell me what you think about refs. And I don't mean refs against the Niners. I think refs in general. I know a lot of you guys watch and leave comments saying, "Oh, were you smoking?" or "What were you watching?" and this and that and all this other stuff. You can say what you want. But just remember, I'm a fan of the game. I'm not just a fan of the 49ers. I'm a fan of the game. And when I see stuff like that, I see bad calls, I'll point them out. I don't care. I will point them out every time, because why? Refs need to be held accountable just as much as the players do. Refs need to be held accountable for all the mistakes that they make as well. I know they can't see them all, but if you're going to call it one way, then you need to call it the other. And I have not seen a consistent game basically at all. And when they do get him right, it's a miracle. And it's almost like you got to celebrate that. Like, I want to do a touchdown celebration just for when a ref gets a call right. It's gotten really bad where refs just cannot. It just seems like they can't process. They need a different process to try to figure out, like, how to call penalties, because they just can't seem to get them right. But anyways, take care, guys. And check out my fantasy football show when you get a chance. That's doing pretty well on my channel, and I'm really proud of it. So, if you want some fantasy help and you need some help on that, just, feel free to hit my show up and ask me any kind of questions you like. So far so good this year. And my team right now is 3-0 in my fantasy league, and once again, top point scorer in the league. So I haven't been doing well. My regular season record over the last 5 years. I haven't been playing fantasy football long, so over the past 5 years has been, I think it's 48-7 or something like that over the last 5 years. So I've had a good regular season record. I've been 1-1 in the playoffs all those 5 years. So if you do the math, it comes out to like 52-11 or something like that. So that's my record. But Niners just aggravating. So for JT Magnum, Niner News, I'm out. Till next time. Peace, y'all.
You guys are good. You're a damn good football team, all right? And you know what? The longer it takes us to figure that out, the better we are. Who's got it better than us? Nobody!